I was just checking out some scriptures and old teachings we used to do, looking at the whole world and how things are changing, particularly the Arabic countries, but many of the different countries. It's the youth that is coming up, and they want to change, and they don't want the old dictator anymore. They want some change, and they don't care even if they have to die to get it. And it's just a movement that is happening. Even in religion, in the different churches, but in our churches, time to go out and do the work that He's called us to do, and let Him guide our paths, and put Him first in everything that we do. We see in our government is so divided. Even though the people may not like Washington the way it is, but the polls show that they like what Washington's direction is. They want to be a little bit more liberal. They want to develop things, new things. They want to get more into science and more into stuff that they weren't interested in the old days. Anyway, the title of this message is going to be Politics and Wineskins. This time we have Contemporary English Version, Luke chapter 5, verse 33. So some people said to Jesus, John's followers, that's John the Baptist, often pray and go without eating, and so do the followers of the Pharisees. But your disciples never go without eating or drinking. We're talking about fasting. 34. Jesus told them, the friends of a bridegroom don't go without eating while he's still with them. They party, they have the cake and the wine, and they feast with the bridegroom. 35. But the time will come when he will be taken away from them. Then they will go without eating. They'll be fasting then, Jesus said. 36. Jesus then told them these sayings. No one uses a new piece of cloth to patch old clothes. The patch would shrink and make the hole even bigger. I don't know if you ever tried that. It's better to use old material on old cloth if you're going to be making a patch. 37. No one pours new wine that you just made, this new wine. No one pours new wine into old wineskins. These wineskins was what they used to put over their shoulders and carry with them. The new wine would swell and burst the old skins. Did you know that new wine, when it's first made, it starts to swell? And if you've got it in this old wineskin that can't move because it's been sitting there for so long, when it starts to swell, it breaks open. Then the wine would be lost, and the skin would be ruined, even for old wine to be poured back into it. Then the wine would be lost. 38. New wine must be put into new wine skins. That's the big topic right now. New wine must be put into new wine skins. Don't put a heavy metal group or a rap group in a very conservative Southern Baptist church. It may not work. 39. No one wants new wine after drinking old wine. They say the old wine is better. Not just using the music angle here, because I've had this experience where we had a lot of young people who did want more contemporary and modern music like they hear on the radio. And the old people would leave. They say the old music is better. They want to hear an organ, and they want to hear a choir sing the old hymns. And they feel that this isn't godly to have new contemporary music in a church. So there's an example with music and worship that is old and new wine. We can learn something very important in this last passage. Here's another one. First, with the illustration of the bridegroom, Jesus is drawing attention to his being with his disciples now, but that he will be going away. That was the bridegroom. You party with him now, but he's going to be going away. Well, Jesus is saying, I'm the bridegroom. And secondly, with the old wineskins, with the old and the new wineskins, Jesus is illustrating the fact that the law and the gospel cannot mix. Jesus is doing a teaching here, and Paul carries it on in Galatians and Romans and Hebrews. The law, the Mosaic law of the Old Testament is the old wine. The gospel of the New Testament is the new wine. They can't mix. And we're still trying to do that. And when we get into trouble, we throw out the new wine and keep the old wine because everyone says it's better. One must become a new creature to partake of the gospel. The gospel is the new wine. I was told when I got into the ministry, grow your own. Get new people. Bring new people to the Lord. There's so many more out there that don't know Jesus Christ. Bring them to the Lord and teach them the gospel for today. And no man who is used to the old religion will desire the new without changing it. So you can have some people there with their luggage from the old school, and they say, well, I'll go along with this, but you have to change this, this, and this, and this. They get on the board and get the church so confused that they don't even know what they stand for anymore. Doctrines are just going all over the place, and people are leaving the church because there is so much confusion. I find the old and new wineskins illustration of many things today. Maybe you can find some other things. As our world and life are changing, and God is singing a new song every day, our blessings are made new every day. God is living, unless you still have him on a cross. He's living today in us if you are born again. For example, I find it very difficult to see capitalism. Okay, here we go. I find it very difficult to see capitalism and the gospel mixing without major problems down the road. Remember, we said that one must become a new creature to partake of the gospel. He can't be mastered by money. Let's look at that in Scripture. In NIV Matthew 6:24, it says, no one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. If wealth and power belonging to whoever has the most money become their master and prime goals, then eventually they will run up against the truth of the gospel. Even end-time prophecy tells us this will happen. Mind you, becoming rich is not a sin, but the roadmap to becoming rich and successful may require stepping on others to accomplish it, and then justify that by giving bigger tithes and offerings to the church, as long as they spend the money the way they want them to. And the corporate church gets bigger. Bigger churches, more programs, more political power, false teachings, while thousands sleep in the street. These are the real ones God calls sodomites.